Top of the afternoon, top of the afternoon, top of the Sunday afternoon, and International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day, Kel. Shout out to all the
Thank
ladies
you.
who love them boys.
Thank you.
How's the weather out there in DC, in the nation's capital?
Um, it, I guess I've only been out a couple of times. I wasn't feeling too not feeling too well. I'm kind of under the weather, but the time I went out, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice weather. Not too hot, not too cold.
All right. Well, we got a special guest as always. We are on our fourth edition here. We're going to be talking about safeties. We've been running through the defense because, the Cowboys only have 8 picks. And we're going to figure out which of these safeties that we're going to be talking about today. So you got my girl Kales on the East Coast. You got me out here in Seattle on the West Coast. And we got a special guest coming in from the United Kingdom, also host of the World's Team podcast. Let's welcome Mike Poland from the UK to the show. How we doing, Mike?
Hello, yeah, thank you very much. It's good to see you again. It's been way too long since we've spoken last, mate. So it's good to finally be back. How you all? How are you guys doing over there?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah, man. Just happy to be on our fourth episode here talking about safeties because I see you and Paul over there on the World's Team podcast. Let everybody know before we get started here. Kind of introduce yourself, Mike. Some of us diehards here know who you are, the ones that read and write and keep up with the Cowboys. But for our audience here today, kind of give your small introduction here of yourself and let everybody know who you are.
But yeah, I mean, as you said, from United Kingdom, we do the UK Cowboys. We came over last season. We were there for both the back-to-back Eagles game and the Thanksgiving game with the Chiefs. So we managed to get back-to-back wins in the unlikeliest of games as well. So a lot of fun, but also do Blogging the Boys, where we started the World's Team show and then moved that over. And now we're on Believe Network doing the World's Team, which is the idea is bringing kind of like what you're already doing, really, but bringing Cowboys of the world to unite. So we get people on from all over the world. We've had people from Mexico, Canada, Spain, Brazil. We have Blue Star Brazil boys in. And so it's a little bit of everything. And then, like I say, me and Paul, we've done all the work over at Blogging the Boys, continuing with all of that. So yeah, it's a busy time of year as well when it comes to draft season. I'm all about college.
Yeah, I know.
Grew up with college more than I did Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you guys are busy over there. I checked out your Instagram. I see all the great content, great upgrade over there. It looks good. We'll talk more about your podcast here shortly. But
I don't know if I met you, but I've met some of the UK Cowboys fans in 2017 when when the invasion of the Cowboys invade ATL happened. And it was like over 200 fans from the UK that was at this.
I remember that.
We lost, but we covered Atlanta Blue.
Yeah. And that's one of the questions I wanted to ask, Mike, before we get into some current Cowboy news, because some news happened yesterday when it comes to the books. But how do you become a Cowboy fan, Mike, in the UK?
Yes. Well, my uncle used to work over in Texas when I was we're talking like in the 80s. And he was working in Texas A&M in the university doing work then. He used to come back home and he brought back, like the T-shirts and the hats. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to be a Texas A&M fan. So just kind of followed that team. Being so young, didn't really understand that it was an NFL league. Followed Texas A&M, get a little bit older, and then you kind of go, okay, I need an NFL team. Texas, Dallas, make complete sense. So that's how that came along.
Yeah, and you guys have a big fan club over there too as well. Big following of Cowboy fans in the United Kingdom. Can you just let everybody know how y'all rep over there? What do all the Cowboy fans do in the UK on game day?
On game day, all right. So it's a little bit different over here. Like our games depend. Normal kickoff over there. Say 3 p.m. Central Time. So over here, that's 9 p.m. at night. So we tend to do things like online tailgating. So we get a big group together online. We'll chat on it. Sometimes we'll have get-togethers in London, definitely for when the international games are on, even if the Cowboys aren't playing, because it's just a big get-together, it's a big party. We'll do parties and things like that. For the other games, like Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, that doesn't kick off over here till about 1:15 in the morning.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Late nights over there. Yeah, it really messes y'all's schedule up. So you got to be thankful for everybody that's tapping in here. We only got a 3-hour time difference between one coast to, between me and Kels here. And speaking of that time and that distance, yesterday, some Cowboys news came out. Kels, there seems to be a section of our fan base that thinks because the Cowboys put the second round tender on our kicker, Brandon Aubrey, they're going to let him go to another team. Can you please share your reactions on the news yesterday of Aubs getting that second round tender, and what does that mean and how does it work?
Okay, so the Cowboys basically have control over the contract. You have something called a restricted free agent. You have something called an unrestricted free agent. I want to say the unrestricted free agent, the front office can put a first round or second round tender on any of those players. So they can put the offer out first, and then that player can shop that around to see who basically is the highest bidder. So let's say, for example, Bones Fossil, he wants Brandon Aubrey back. So they shop the contract to Tennessee.
So Tennessee makes an offer and says, hey, we're going to pay you $10 million. Is he going to be gone or no?
And then the Brandon Aubrey can take that contract back to the Cowboys and say, this is what Tennessee is offering me. They can either match it or say, nah, that's too much for us. We're going to go in a different direction. And then that's how the Cowboys can pick up a second round. Does that mean it's going to be this year? No. Does that mean it's going to be next year? Maybe.
I mean, do we really think that we're going to lose? Let me get Mike's reaction over there. What are the UK Cowboy fans saying about Brandon Aubrey going on the second round tender? Mike, are they afraid we're going to lose him, or is it just business as usual for them boys?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's got to be, when you look at this, once you put the tender on it, it tends to be the case that they're trying to find a way to move on. Or in this particular case, it could be that the front office are being lazy. It can be when you're using a restricted free agent and you want to put it out there. It being lazy, not in terms of not signing, but in terms of let other people dictate to you what his value is. Because they have the right of first refusal, they can turn around and say, oh, that's what you're offering? Well, we'll just match it, or we'll go a little bit higher. Now we'll get to retain him. So it's a little bit lazy in that respect. But, I mean, you can get the pick from it. Obviously, it wouldn't be a pick for this year. It would have to move on.
That's key. It wouldn't be a
season.
pick for this year. That's real key.
No. Yeah, it goes on to next year. But it really, the whole thing of all of this that's really, really frustrating, that's really annoying, is so if you talk about like the running back, like we've done this year, where you say you don't want to sign the player early in the season because you're worried about injuries, a drop off in production, you kind of go, okay, I get that. Right, we'll wait. We won't sign him just yet. Let's get to the end of the season. We'll evaluate things and we'll move forward. With Brandon Aubrey, you're seeing a consistent flow of production from him. I talked about the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs game that we were at. Eagles game, all right, Aubrey missed one kick in that game, but he came back, he got back out of his head and managed to recenter himself to make the game-winning field goal. And you look at things like that, like the guys winning new games. What is stopping you from, in the middle of the season, getting the team discount to sign him early? But Jerry is also slow in signing players early. I know it has happened, but we've seen this plenty where he will wait You go, why are you waiting on a kicker that you know is one of your setting franchise records, setting league records? There's no reason for you to have to sit on your hands and wait for this to go ahead. Do it early, get the discount, and now everybody's happy. There was no reason to wait for it. But now here we are in the off season going through the same old thing that we've been through before, like, for instance, with Dak. And Dak didn't get signed until like 1 week before the season started. It's just it's another moment again. And you think, it's a kicker. Just get him signed.
Gotcha. We appreciate both of y'all's inputs on that, as Dak has been in some news, but we're not going to get messy here and talk about people's personal business. We're down here to talk about safeties.
Yeah.
We're down here to talk about safeties here today, but I think the Cowboys are going to keep Brandon Aubrey. Why would they let him walk? I think this is business as usual, just exactly what Mike Poland said, just kicking the can kind of slowly down the road. You know, I know Kels believes I know we'd like to keep. I know me and Kels would like to keep him because we like to draft him in fantasy football because he does win you some games in fantasy football. But speaking of that, Mike, we're going to flip it back to you because you are hot on these safeties, and you got one that you'd like to start out with that you say at 12, which we're going to do a mock draft here towards the end of the show. But you're saying at 12, if we were to get a safety and he was available, who would be the first pick? Who would be the first pick at 12 that you would take?
I'm happy with the first two. Like, that will surprise some people that you would say there's two I would take. But let's start with the obvious one, which is Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Dude is an absolute animal. He's a beast. You go just basically to his award list, and you go through it, and you're like, Jim Thorpe Award, Lot Impact Award, Big Ten, Woodson Award, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player Back. Defensive Back of the Year, unanimous All America. The list goes on and on. But the guy is like, people say, like, I don't understand with Caleb Downs. What's the appeal? It's that he's able to do it all. He's on my board, my own personal board. He's my number one prospect. He's first above anyone else. People will have maybe Fernando Mendoza as their first guy. No, for me, it's Caleb Downs. He's the guy with the fewest flaws in all of the prospects that we look at. I know people were worried about something that came out a couple of weeks ago with an ACL degenerative thing. I mean, people have tried to dig into it to find out where that comes from. Seems to be more like somebody trying to drum up publicity or trying to lower Caleb's stock.
Like a smear
Doesn't
campaign.
make any sense. Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense because there's no real news in it. But this guy has almost like a psychic ability in how he's able to read coverages. It's insane to watch how he does it, because it doesn't matter if he's going for the first read or he's going out towards, like, he doesn't get baited by quarterbacks or by the eyes. He's just able to solidify the idea of what he's got in his head. The IQ is off the charts. When it comes to run defense, he's totally there. I mean, like, it does not matter which way you kind of face him, but the zone coverage and the run defense are his top two things. I do, like, you've probably seen it, where I do scores of 100 on particular things, kind of like a Madden score, if you like. And his zone coverage, for myself, he's got a 94, and in run defense is 90. So the guy is just an amazing player. Very, very few flaws in his game. So for me, is what makes him so good. So what does that do for the Cowboys in terms of, like, how does he fit, or however you want to put it?
Do you think, Mike, that at 12 will another team grab him before then, or would he fall to us ideally?
Yeah, it would be if he falls to us, then I'm gonna. I mean, when we do the live shows, I'm shouting, and I'm hoping that they run up and just give that name. Yeah. Does he fall that far? I don't think so. Mostly because of the tape shows you a lot. Combine really just reaffirmed everything else. And it's not just, we're not just talking about what you're seeing on the TV. There's a lot of comments coming out that the guy in interviews, in conversations, was just off the charts. They were blowing people away. So you look at that and you say straight away, right, if you had him as like just slightly outside of the top 10, all of that has gone away now. He's a top 5. He has to be a top 5 prospect. Whether he's first on your board is up to you. He's first on mine. Up to yourself where you kind of slot him, where you land him. But he's just like this amazing. You can rotate him in different positions. You never need to take him off, even in sub packages, because you get him like that star sort of position. You could just play him in there. If you play him too high, you can bring him down in the box. You can play as a robber. Yeah,
that's a great segue. I want to throw this. I want to throw this to Kales, because Kales, I know you probably got some insights on Caleb Downs too. He's probably high on your board, but I'm looking at his size, and he's like 6 foot. You know, he's not that big dog. Is he that kind of type that Christian Parker? Because we know you know the type of safeties, because you have a current list there. Is he one of those types that fit, or is he too small?
No, I mean, he's the perfect size. He is 6 feet. He is a free safety. He's not so much of a hybrid. That's what Christian Parker and Ryan Smith would like. They would like hybrids. That means they play both free and strong safety, whether it's in man or zone, in a 2-high shell. Yes, he is a 2-high shell, but he's only a free safety. So if let's just say if we need a strong, we don't have a extra strong out there, then who, you know, and we have him who's a free, then we're short one. I have no problem with him. Do
you think he's available? I asked you the same question. Do you think he falls to us at 12, or will another team be in the market for, you know, it seems like he's pretty sought after.
I'd be shocked if he goes past 8.
Y'all let us know in the comments. Will Caleb Downs fall to us? And ideally, it seems like it would be the play. And with that play, Kales, if you don't have anything else to say about Caleb Downs, who are you high on your list? Thank you, Mike, for your input on Caleb Downs. I'm like, hey, we need defense on all 8 picks. But Kales, who you got on your list types of players that Christian Parker is looking for? You want to cover first?
I have one that's actually, in my opinion, a little bit better than Caleb Downs. This is none other than Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He was at both the Senior Bowl, and he was at Combine. He is 6'3", 6'3" and a half, 201 pounds. His arm span is 32 1/8, and his hand size is 9 1/4.
Oh, we got big hands.
Yep.
Is that why you give him the edge?
Yeah, I mean, they're around the same.
I ain't trying to get you distracted. Go ahead, Kale.
No, him and Downs is basically measuring around the same. As you can see on the screen, that's his what he did, 77 tackles, so on and so forth. His prospect grade is he came in at 6.39. His production score at the Combine, he ranked 4th with a score of 81. Athleticism, he ranked 13th with a score of 75. And his production score, he ranked 3rd as with a score of 81. His 40-yard dash, he ran a 4.52. 10-yard split, 1.58. His vertical jump was 35.5 inches, and his broad jump was 10 feet 2 inches.
He's also 4 inches taller. He's a 6'4" type over a 6 foot Caleb. So
6'3", 6'3" and a half.
Okay.
He is a safety, but this is what I like about him. He is a hybrid. He plays strong and hybrid nickel. That's one of our issues.
Yeah, we've been feeling that since Jordan left, right? Since Jordan departed the building.
Yeah. So some of his stats from 2025 at Toledo, 13 games, 77 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 2 interceptions, 5 PBUs, and 3 forced fumbles. So he so for his career, he has 214 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions, 13 PBUs, and 9 forced fumbles. This boy is a ball hawk. He does.
I mean, because it looks like he could be there. He's in like the top 5 on NFLDraftBuzz.com, one of our tools. I mean, he probably might be there at 12. So
exactly, and this is one thing I like about him too. His versatilities. He is capable in playing in the box as well as a linebacker. So this is a true hybrid that Ryan Smith and Christian Parker wants. They want that
that type.
Safety turn, linebacker turn safety. He's very high productive. He does, of course, the infamous peanut punch, and he will.
Yeah, we need some peanut punch in Dallas. There's a lot of that going on around the league, right, Mike?
Yeah. No, I'll let you continue. Yeah, I'll hop in now.
And he does, and he's excellent with side to side range. This boy, I mean, he fits the scheme of what Ryan Smith and Christian Parker wants.
Well, how high is he ranked on that list that you got? Can you get us anything? I mean, is he like somebody at 12 and Caleb Downs is gone and he's there at 12? Could we see the Cowboys?
Even if Caleb Downs is there, on my list, he is number 1.
Caleb Downs?
If we go safety,
right,
at 12, I will take McNeil Warren over Caleb Downs.
Ooh, all right. We're going to get into a mock draft here very soon. I want to toss the ball over to my guy in the UK, Mike. How are you feeling about Kales with that gym there? I mean, he got 4 inches on Caleb, but I mean, I know Caleb's ranked number 1. What's your thoughts on?
On my list, he's ranked 46. He's in my top 50. And I'll tell you, he was higher before the combine. The combine exposed a little bit with him. I do like him. The speed is the issue, the recovery speed. He is slow. You mentioned the time, 4.52 seconds, but the 10-yard split is also an issue, where he only ranked 44th amongst all combine participants. It's the gallop and the recovery I worry about, but down at the line, especially when you rotate him in, you can have him in split safety looks, which is totally fine. But when you rotate him down and match him with tight ends, as a tight end killer, he's really, really good. Really like that part of his game. But the top end recovery speed is an issue for me. Go in positive towards him, though, at things. You look at the 2024 production, it's not bad. It's pretty good. 2025 gets a little bit more usage. Production goes up as well. So it's a steady incline. The run defensive side of his game in 2024, you're kind of like, oh, it's inconsistent. 2025, it's got a little bit better. It's still not perfect. It's still not amazing. It's got better. So you're looking at a guy who's on the incline as opposed to declining. So you're hoping that you're continuing to progress and grab hold of those traits and make them better. The block engagement is what it comes down to in the run game. The technique, just it's got more room it needs to work on. But I think as the strong safety, where you can match it in quarters, cover six, all the cover 6 families, you can work into that, and it looks great, which absolutely falls perfectly into the wheelhouse for Christian Parker. He's as you mentioned, he's long, physical. He's got takeaways as well on his board, as you mentioned, with tackles for a loss, forced fumbles. That's all there. He's one of those. He's one of those guys who once he gets there, once he's near the ball, he's going to be impactful.
Well, he's the third. He's the third ranked on NFL mock draft simulator, which we'll get into. As we see, we got Caleb Downs as the top safety, and then secondly, Dylan Thieneman, I think, who you may be kind of high on, Mike. Is that one of the folks that you maybe have in your wheelhouse that you'd like to talk about tonight?
That is my guy. Honestly, love this guy from Oregon. And I was going to say, you can't discount as well. Just going back to Emmanuel, is that he's coming from Toledo, and Toledo have a history of bringing defensive backs into the NFL. On the other hand, with Dylan Thinneman from Oregon, I mean, this dude, if they took him at 12, I'd be totally fine with that. Before the combine, loved the guy. I was like, if they take him at 20, I'll be fine with that. Goes to the combine, blows the combine completely open, where you see a guy who he's a big guy. You look at the build, 6 foot, 204, big guy. But he built like Caleb. So he built fast. Like Caleb, yeah. He's just so fast, so quick. The acceleration, the get off, the top end speed, and the tackling as well. Unbelievable. Man coverage skills, absolutely perfect for what you want in his position. But I mean, he's a processor, high end, high level processor, anticipates routes. The ball awareness of where it is it's elite. He'll play the quarterback's eyes, closes down throw-in lanes. The tackling volume is wild. I mean, if you go to it, 96 tackles in 2025, and you say, oh wow, well, that's on top of 2024 where he was at Purdue, but he gets in there with 104 tackles. Over the 2 years, you're looking at 8 tackles for loss, and 12 pass breakups. And I mean, he's an unbelievable talent. And when you mix a safety who's got size and strength with speed and burst, that as well as being a high-end processor, that is a special type of guy. That's a special safety that fits perfectly for what Dallas needs. He never needs to come off the field. You never need to sub him out. So if that's the case, that's a guy that you can keep in there. And he solves so many of your safety problems. Caleb Downs does as well. But Thiedemann is a guy who can. There are issues with him where he's extremely aggressive. So what happens extremely aggressive. And when that happens, you see certain angles will end up becoming where he has to over pursue. And I think a lot of that is because he allows himself to do it because he knows he has the speed and the burst to be able to make up for that. In the NFL, you're now going up against guys who are matched with you speed-wise. The NFL, they all say it's fast. It's a faster game. It's faster because these guys are athletically better, which means some of the over-aggressive tendencies that he has could come back to bite him. But the rest of it is just he's a plug and play. He's a plug and play safety.
Well, we got a question coming in from the audience here on YouTube, Mike. I know we got a little bit of a time delay here. I apologize. But JV B-Boys tapping in saying before the combine, Caleb Downs is ranked number 1 among all draft prospects. After the combine, people are losing interest. I hope it continues to draft day because I would take him at 12.
Oh, yeah. I think what some of the people going stale on him was just this odd narrative to come out about the knee. And I think that scared some people away. As I mentioned, when we were talking about Caleb Downs, when you look into it and you try and investigate to find out what this is, nobody seems to have any information.
Let me ask Kales, because Kales seems to know because the medical team, kind of took on that Savon Revel thing. Is there any validity to this injury talk on Caleb Downs? Is just that somebody trying to put some smear campaign on him? Or
no, it's no smear campaign. This year, the LA Rams physician team was the designated physician team for the combine. So all teams get every combine participants not draft report, medical evals. So it really don't come out, like the full report really don't come out until a few days after the combine. So when this article came out, that was what, like Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. That's around
something like that.
Yeah. So that's around the time that all the medical evals will come out, and this stuff is public record. I'm not sure if it was on the program, the daily program that you got from Combine, BG. But normally,
yeah, that was the defense was Thursday, Friday. I was there Saturday, Sunday for
right.
offensive line, so I didn't get those.
So what used to be on the day bill of what happens, they have everybody there, like who's going to facilitate the drills, who the medical, the combine medical physician team is. Okay. So but it comes out, okay, the LA Rams, we all know the LA Rams physician team was there. They the one that submitted the reports to the league, and it was disseminated to everybody. So I'm not tripping off of that. The thing is he played with this injury in his professional career. Now, maybe some years down the road, like let's say if he goes in the first round. So each contract, if you're in the first round, you will get your 4-year deal, but you have the teams will have a 5th-year option on those first round draft picks. So let's say if we do draft him, he could be good for us for 5 years, depending on how well he does. If he stays healthy, there's no issues. So if he goes into like year 4, year 5, God forbid there's an injury with him because of this degenerative ACL, and I forgot the other thing that he has, then the team has the option not to do the 5th year option. They could put him on a 1-year deal after that.
Well, let's talk about these options, Kels. I got this mock draft simulator up, and thank you for all that insight. That's great to know. Appreciate that. Sharing that here. That's good information out there. But Caleb Downs is gone, and at pick 12, we got Dylan Thinneman, your guy, Emmanuel Warren, AJ Halsey. I seen in the comments down there.
Yeah,
I like AJ.
If the Cowboys were to go safety at 12, who you picking? Who you got, Mike? You got Dylan, I think, huh?
Yeah, it would be Dylan for this is where we're gonna get to a battle, yeah. Because I'm Team Dylan and we got Team Emmanuel, yeah. So it's gonna be we're gonna have to discuss.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments who would you take, Dylan, or would you take Emmanuel? And we'll get back to this and we'll select based on the comments that come in. Kels, I want to kick it back over to you. Who do you got next on your list?
Okay, I'm about to do a 2-for-1. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Go on, then.
Okay, so this 2-for-1. The first, and they're both coming out of USC. All right, we're talking about Kamari Ramsey and Bishop Fitzgerald.
All right, I got Ramsey up. Let's go.
All right.
Two very different safeties too.
Very, very. So that's why I said this is a 2-for-1. All right. So Ramsey, he is a hybrid. He plays the same position as Emmanuel McNeil. Mm-hmm. He is a safety. Hold on, let me get it right. Mr. Ramsey is a free safety. There we go. Yeah, he's a free safety. Some of his strengths, diagnostic skills on point. He's an effective run defender. And he is a very reliable tackler. Honestly, in my opinion, I will give him an edge up over McNeil Warren. When you look at his transitions to a heavier workload, he transitioned to a heavier workload at the nickelback position. Again, that's one of the issues was having last year. He has accumulated 164 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions over his whole career. This is what I want to happen. If we could get into day 2 I will draft this dude. He's a ball hawk. More of a ball hawk than McNeil Warren. But this is something like if I could get into day 2, this is someone that I will get.
So a little further down on the depth radar there, as you know, we may not go safety at 12, but we're talking safeties here today. That's why we're examining as we see some of the comments coming in. But Kels, you said this is a 2-for-1. What else you got on this USC guy?
Okay, so this is the 2-for-1, Bishop Fitzgerald. He is a highly incentive ball hawking safety. He plays strong safety. He plays next to the Kamari Ramsey.
Ex-quarterback too.
Ex-quarterback, yes.
Yeah.
He plays deep safety. He plays slot. He plays box. He has 34 solo tackles, 5 interceptions. He before he was at USC, he was at NC State and Coffeyville Community College. This is, to me, he's like a 4th round pick. So if he's a day 3, he will definitely go in the 4th round. If he's there by the time we get to the 4th round, I will pull this dude.
I mean, the 2 guys from USC, as I say, 2 very, very different guys. It depends what you want in your safety. Are you one that is more interested in speed? Because if you are, that's Bishop Fitzgerald. Or are you interested in tackling technique, which would be Kamari? They're 2 very different. Both of them carry injury red flags. Both missed time in 2025 with knee injuries as well. Both of them missing. I think both missed at least the last 2 games in the bowl game. Bowl game, you kind of like, you don't mind because these guys, you know, they're focusing more on the draft. But the injuries are there with both. I'm trying to think, at the right place, who would I prefer? I think I would probably go with Bishop Fitzgerald, just because I prefer the role and the fit that he has, being that he can rotate from strong to free and play the 2 high. That palms cover.
Yes.
You can do that. Yeah, you could do that totally free with him. Kamari, I feel you're going to be somewhat. You need more of a definitive plan with him, mostly because the top end speed. The issue with Fitzgerald, I mean, obviously there's the medicals. You've got to get around that. But you're gonna have to sort out the tackling. It's not that the tackling is bad. That, you know, it's not that he's terrible at it. He just needs to get better discipline with certain areas of his tackling, and then you're onto something. If you can do that, I do like both.
Can I propose something to you? Can I propose something to you?
Go on.
Because let's build this. Let's build this team. I like to build a team. Let's say if we get Caleb Downs, right?
Okay.
You have him on the out because all 3 of them do 2 high shelves.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
You have Caleb on one side, put Bishop on the other. I will slide Kamari or McNeil Warren in the slot because they very work heavy. They're very work heavy in the slot.
And they could do tight end. They can raise the tight end position. Yeah,
because that was one of the issues too. You know, defending the edges and who's on the edges a lot of the time, but the tight ends.
Yeah. The only thing I would say though is you can, because Caleb Downs is so universal in how he can play the position. You can get him to do that as well. Mind, you can have him come down and play at the line and raise the tight end and play from the slot. Twitchy slot players might give him a bit of problem, but you could do that with Caleb.
Let me ask y'all this question. Over the ones that we've covered, because we know we've heard at pick 12 and at pick 20, we ain't got time to develop nobody. We need you to come in and lace up and be ready to play. So out of the ones that we've covered so far, Kels, I mean, you see, I took Dylan in this mock draft because, you know, that's what the comments were that came in. But that being said, you know, let's take a look at who we got left here. You know, you got Mansour Delane after taking Dylan Thieneman. I mean, would these two guys be ready to come in if we were to draft Mansour and a Dylan Thieneman from Oregon to be able to come in day one and help the Cowboys on the defensive side of the ball?
Exactly, because that's what the first and the second rounds are. You're basically on the 53-man roster, so you're ready to go.
Yeah. All right, I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page here because we got the mock draft simulator up, and we've already took Dylan Thieneman. Mansour Delane is there. This is the all.
I will get him.
And then you got Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, interior offensive lineman, edge. I know we haven't covered edges yet, but we're on safeties here today. So would you go with Mansour also? Would that be your plug and play right there, Mike, in the UK?
Oh, yes. I mean, so we've taken Dylan at 12 and we've got Mansour at 20. You've resolved two massive holes in your defense. I'm with you. I think this needs to be a pure defensive draft class.
Now, hold on. Pull that back up. Pull that back up. Because I know he's gone. I know he's gone off the board.
Who?
But
Mansour?
If he's still there, and AJ Halsey, because I want to talk about this dude right here.
All right, who's on your list? Halsey.
If
all right, let's
AJ Halsey is there, if both of them are there at 12 and 20, get them two LSU boys and let's go. Let's go. Because just like because they're like Sonic and Knuckles. Like what Detroit has, Sonic and Knuckles, and that's what Kamari and Bishop was to USC. They were the Sonic and Knuckles team. So listen, if AJ Halsey and that freaking Mansour Delane, I'd be happy.
Well, that's a pretty good mock draft.
I do like Halsey. He's an interesting tone setting box safety.
Is he a 12 or 20 pick where he can come in and play, game one?
Yeah.
Okay.
20 I wouldn't take him at 12.
Okay.
But if you could convince me at pick 20, like if other players were off the board, I could be convinced for it. He's coming in with a bit of a shoulder injury that he got during practice of the summer, I believe, in 2025. But he played through the season with it fine. But we talked about tackling consistency. This guy right here.
Yeah,
tackling. He has to talk from Waterboy. He has tackling fuel.
And
no business decisions then. No Dion business decisions out there, huh?
No. And one thing I want to say is, like, if they're talking about with him with penalties and all this other stuff, I just want to rig into people's heads that college penalties are different from NFL penalties.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So just because it's a penalty, he got let's say he racked up a couple of penalties in college, those penalties could be legal hits in the professional realm. So I just want to two different
same sport, two different leagues, two different penalties. Got it.
And he's got 8 interceptions and a forced fumble in the last 2 seasons. I mean, he can ball hawk, solid at the catch point, will not get bullied off the ball at the catch point. But he's got the size. He's a big guy for the type of safety. Yeah, I mean, he's over 220 pounds playing at 6 foot. So he doesn't get bullied off the ball easily. We could talk about the issues on like RPOs, play action. because he is a gambler. He's a gambler, is what he is. But
don't say gambler, man. Now you know that guy who was named that here in Texas. Not Jerry. I ain't talking about Jerry either.
No. Yeah, I mean, he is a gambler, but he's a physical tackler, and he doesn't get beaten off the ball.
And his eye correlation is sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm starting to hear this more and more amongst, you know, as I was at the combine, you hear, I mean, athleticism is one facet now. You hear all about the mental, all about the processing. You hear all of these new words that you talked about and shared here also too, Mike, and just Kels is talking about the vision. Like, this is next level. These are what some of the Cowboys pro scouting department is looking at, right, Kels?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you one other thing that they're looking at too, because it happened with one of our players. They're also looking at as far as head trauma, brain activity. Because
you did have a lot of concussions.
But not only that, but we have a player right now that they put something on him. And then I know they're working out the contracts, but Wanye Thomas, all last year, he suffered with these chronic migraines that can basically be stroke level. So they're looking at now, and he's not the only player that's been suffering from this last season. He's just more prominent because he's a Cowboy. But now they're taking in more effect, like they looking at these draft prospects, like, okay, if he has this same type of migraine that Wanye Thomas had, is this a good player? You know, not to say that, you know, sometimes the draft stock value will go down, but that's one of the things that they're looking at now with some of these players.
Yeah, because I remember you distinctively saying we need clean bills of health, especially on 12 and 20. Not only can they come in and play impact, but we don't need, you know, any projects like with injuries and folks coming in and things like that. And that's why I wanted to touch on that Caleb Downs stuff there and make sure we were on top of that. But Mike, who else do you have? Anybody else high on your list over there that you think the Cowboys should go after at safety, strong safety, free safety?
Yeah, let me have a look. Who's the guy who I'm quite interested in is I'm quite interested, and it's a little bit later down the line if they really wanted to go that way, is Zachy Wheatley from Penn State. He's an interesting one. I quite like him, but let's try and stay in state, and let's go with Michael Taff from Texas. I mean, there are faults here with the game, you know, because we're talking a little bit later down the line, but he is very intriguing in what he can do, very instinctive, that sort of a guy who will just see it and sort it. You see excellent versatility in how he can play, free or strong, reliable tackler. There's plenty of ball production there. But the key factor with Michael Taff from Texas is that it's the communication. You watch him over at the Longhorns, being the guy who is controlling the secondary from his position. You see him communicate extremely well because he's able to see it, and the instincts are strong with him. Now, the issue with him is it's the single high work. He needs to be more clear in what you need to do in that particular role. Faster, more agile players will give him issues. He's more better. He's more suited when he's getting help and assistance together. But when you put him there, I mean, Michael Taff, it's the instincts, because you can't do much in terms of practice on the field to get, you either have them or you don't, and he has them. So you're already at a level above. Physical limitations is where he really struggles. That's the big issue with him, because he is a slight guy. I mean, he's small. I mean, we're talking he's just at 6 foot, but he's sub He's a sub 190-pound guy. So that makes him, you've got to think of risk assessment management with him if you take him because of the style of football that he plays and where you want to play him. Because he can't end up with durability issues based on his size.
Yeah, clean bill of health, like we were talking about. But Kels, in a couple of days here, free agency frenzy, March 11th is going to be the official kickoff day for the 2026 season. Are the Cowboys going to be aggressive on March 11th? Because you said on the BPA very clearly that the free agency is going to shape up how the BPA works when we go into the draft in Pittsburgh.
Well, actually, tomorrow we could start doing some legal tampering.
Oh, no, not legal tampering with Kels.
Yeah. Legal tampering period begins.
So we'll see. But can I throw something in there? I did want to talk about Ahmad Moses. He's another one, but I'm going to throw something in there that...
Yeah, give me an outlier real quick because I know Mike had an outlier, and then we'll wrap up here because we want to make sure we get some Q&A down there. But who's this outlier that you're talking about this last time?
Let's talk about VJ Payne from Kansas State.
Yeah,
DJ Payne.
I don't even know if they. I would send a text to Will McClain, be like, "Hey, VJ Payne, this brother is a hybrid. He is a strong and zone safety. This is, to me, I think this is what he wants. He is 208 pounds, but he lost 2 pounds because he clocked in at combine 206 pounds. His arm span is 33 3/4. His hand size is 9.5. He is 6'3". This dude, he's, to me, he's like a late round.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So day
like
2
a late
pick,
round one, maybe early day 2. 60 tackles, 2 interceptions, 4 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles. Yes, he is a ball hawk. Versatilities, like I said, he's capable. He plays not only safety, he also plays linebacker. Very experienced in blitzing and zone coverage. If you could pull any, this was just off the top of my head, BG, but if you could pull him up real quick so people.
How you spell his last name?
Payne, Payne.
Yeah.
Okay.
VJ Payne. And he is a hard hitter. He is all over the field. He plays in, he plays out, he plays box, he plays slot, he plays free.
Kansas State?
He plays space. This is a dude.
Yeah, I like Payne. He comes. He's an interesting guy.
He is. That's what.
Yeah, he's an interesting. That big, long frame, very gangly. As you say, productive, steady. There's that whole turnover. He's always got turnover,
and he'll run after your ass.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things is playing, like when the ball is at the mesh point and, you're in the trash, as they say. Him playing through that and finishing in run support is wild, which is why you see so many tackles for loss on his stat sheet. I do like what Payne brings. It is very interesting. Not, they're at the Senior Bowl. It's like, how early would you take a guy like this is the trouble, Yeah,
no, I know this is what Kills was talking about, a later round 2 type of pick. I know we're going kind of deep here, but
because if we stick and pick with 20, he'll be there. I'll be okay with him. Let's say if we decide to get in bed with Buffalo Bills at 26, so we'll take their pick. And we could we'll take your 26, but you have to give us one of your day 2 picks. He'll be there at 26.
Okay.
Yeah. Here it is. Here's a good way of putting Payne for me. Is that he has skills. The issue why you would want to take him a bit later is because it's not constant. There will be games where you're like, where is this guy we had last week? He's disappeared this time. And then the next game he'll come back. And then the next game he's disappeared again. And it's kind of like back and forth. If you can get the more constant supply of what he does on a regular basis, game to game, then you're like, ooh, we got a player here. That's what makes him so interesting for me.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Mackey's comment. The only thing with that is like they was trying that with Max Crosby. I'm happy we didn't get Max Crosby on.
Man, come on. Everybody knew that was a shiny object. You said here it wasn't smart for us to get in bed with the guy financially.
Right.
It's not in the wheelhouse of what we're doing. Maybe the Cowboys 5 years ago.
Yeah. Personally and business wise, I'm glad we did not get him. But what they wanted was the 20th pick, but they wasn't planning on.
They wanted 2 first, and Dallas wanted to give up 1 and a second or something like that, right?
So Vegas was going to give us a 2nd round pick, like a day 2, but that wasn't going to be until like 2027. No, we need one for it.
We need that now.
And so when you look at it, the Cowboys are holding that 20th pick ransom for 2026.
Well, let me ask you this, Kels. That Max Crosby ship has sailed, and now the goalposts have seemed to be moved to Trey Hendrickson. Is there any smoke on the Trey Hendrickson deal so we can tell Cowboy fans that's shiny object number 2?
No, when you look at it, Max Crosby was number 2. Trey Hendrickson has always been the shiny object. So they're just spinning the block back to Trey Hendrickson because we was going to try to trade for him.
Yeah, I know there was the talk with him last year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that was before the season started. And then they tried to do it again throughout the season, but Cincinnati still wanted more for Trey Hendrickson. Then here comes Super Bowl weekend. They said, oh, we're going to put the franchise tag out on them. Then last week they had a whole change of heart and said, nah, we're going to be done with him. He's going to hit the free agency. So now that he has hit the free agency, okay, Cowboys, are you going to be aggressive with it and get Trey Hendrickson?
Which is a great segue. And I want to ask Mike as we get ready to wrap up here. Appreciate y'all going over the safeties here today. But Mike, when it comes to being aggressive, free agency open, you heard Kels, legal tampering tomorrow. Do you see us in the first 48, the Cowboys signing somebody outside of the house, not somebody we got being aggressive with our current contracts, but like going and getting somebody outside the building to add here in the first 48?
I really hope so, because we absolutely need it, because there are so many holes, mostly on defense, that we need to fill. The issue why I'm apprehensive why it'll happen is the cap situation. I know they've got room where they can wiggle and make adjustments here, but they need to do this. Like I want to see what moves they make before they start making free agency moves, especially if you're thinking of franchise tagging George Pickens, and that's how he's going to play this year.
Yeah, that whole thing can still unfold, right? Yeah, because we can still give him a deal.
Yeah, I hope it does, because in my bones, I feel that Pickens isn't going to turn around and be happy playing on the tag. You know, it's all well and good going, oh, it's all right, we franchise tagged.
Like you said, taking their time business-wise as we kicked it off when we opened the show. I want to ask Kels, do you see, because we're going to have a free agency after the first 72 hours on Saturday. Kels and I, along with Body Cannabis Cowboy Big Three, will be back together to do a first 72-hour recap of free agency. Kels, will the Cowboys go sign some veterans out there to add to this, to shape up this BPA that you said could change through free agency?
I hope so, because it's some people that I would like. Listen, if we could get homeboy, I can't get his name off the top of my tongue right now, but he's from New York. If we could get him, the linebacker from New York.
Yeah, because I'm hearing the Kobe Dean. You hear all of this stuff about all these,
nice.
all this, but I mean, we get ready to find out in about the first next 48 hours.
My only thing with Nakobe Dean is injury
medicals.
Yeah. I want, and see,
it's the medicals with Nakobe Dean. basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing that Shotty said, that he said he wanted, even though he has who are free agents and everything, especially on defense. But he said, I need to look at the medicals.
Nakobe Dean has missed a lot of time, even before he came into the NFL. He came with a bunch of risks with
because he was technically supposed to go in the first round, and then his draft stock went down, and he went in the third round, and then he got hurt at Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question, Kels. As we get ready to kick off free agency, what's the current state of the books? Because thought we had some money. Guess we ain't gotten the money. Maybe Jerry paid some bills. I mean, are we gonna have some money to be able to get to a free agent?
Gonna have some money. We're gonna have some money.
Oh, the restructures are kicking in. Is that what's gonna make all of the money appear like everybody thinks?
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, so they did pull the restructures on. So that was the other third one that I couldn't think of. So the players that's on the book with the restructuring clause outside of Dak and Lamb is Tyler Smith. He has a built-in restructuring contract. Yeah. And they can also rework Osa Odighizuwa's contract, as well as
Terrence Steele.
Terrence Steele. The thing with Terrence Steele is, I'd be okay if he go and just pay him his guaranteed money, that $15 million. I'd be okay with that. So even though we could rework Quinion Williams' contract.
Yes, correct.
If we want to, even though Kenny Clark is still on the Green Bay Packers book, we could kind of take over that contract and rework that contract.
So a lot of things going to be happening.
You can release Kenny Clark as well, which I don't think is a good idea if we're going for a 3-4 defense. But you've got to have your three big boys in the middle, and they you're talking about that right there.
And Kenny Clark is a 3-4 dude.
Correct,
he's not a 4-3. That's
he's your nose. He's your nose.
Everybody was talking about how bad Osa was, and we gave him all this money. But let's be real. None of the players on defense really worked under Flus's defense, because when you look at it, all of them are 3-4 players. Mike Zimmer even played 3-4.
Yeah. You've got to have those three big bodies. Kenny Clark's your nose. So, you kind of say, but it's just crazy because when you look at it, there's $68 million on the cap just on your defensive tackle position. Those three guys on the field.
And speaking of free agency, this is what I want Christian Parker to do. I want you to go and get my frat brother who was just released from Green Bay, because you definitely drafted him when you was in Green Bay. You better go get Rashawn Gary, because Rashawn Gary not only plays 3 tech, 5 tech, he plays 7 tech, he plays 9 tech, he plays 21 tech.
Yeah,
he play all the tech. Does he play Nike tech?
He play all the techs.
You can have him standing in the 2-point, and the guys still do what he wants.
And he goes all over the field. He's not a standard player. He'll be over here 1 minute, then he'll be in the middle the next minute. The next thing you know, he got the quarterback in a headlock. He plays everything.
I got an interesting question to ask you to go on this one. Can you imagine, and I know we're stepping backwards, and I do apologize, and I hate to do this, but it's just an interesting thought that come into my head. How interesting it would be to have this 3-4 defense now with Micah Parsons on the outside if we managed to have kept him. I'm sorry.
Hey, based on what we found out after the fact when Micah left, it might not work out so well because there was some locker room tension.
The thing is, it will be sweet if he was on there, but I have a feeling it's going to be some crying. I need to get my sacks. I need to be,
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
When you have that much talent.
I mean, he's a lot of talent, but I just don't think it didn't mesh well while he was here, but we all meshed well here on this show together. And I appreciate you tapping in all the way from the UK, Mike. Tell everybody about the world's podcast, because I've got that link on Instagram down there below. What can folks expect on the World's Team podcast? Because it's not just America's team, it's the world's team.
It's the world's team. Yeah. We spoke to Stephen Jones about that, and we were worried he was going to try and trademark our statement.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, you could see his eyes light up when we said it. But basically, me and Paul now, we're just going through to the draft. We're going to keep up with the regular news and updates as we do. And then, as I say, it's nothing now but scouting reports, mock drafts, all the rest of it. And then once we get into the off season, is, as I say, continuing on with all the various news, what we hear coming out. As you know, Barry, we keep up to date with the guys in Frisco. We talk to them quite often, quite a bit. So we try and get as much information out of them.
You're always posting in OAT, and we appreciate that, especially when blogging the boys and all of that. You and Paul Stewart over there, the Scottish Cowboy.
I have a question. And this is no disrespect to Mexico, but this is the third year that they have
I'm glad you
that they have nominated an international player for the the international fan of the year. So this is something new that has started. Has anybody?
Man, Mexico won it one year, I think, didn't it? Yeah.
All three of them came from Mexico.
Yeah.
And I think this is the fourth one. This is the fourth year.
Wow.
So my question is, why nobody in the UK, and I know in other places have, submitted a nomination for the international, because they all coming out of Mexico.
Furthermore, how come we ain't been to the UK? I thought the Cowboys would have came to the UK in the last 5 years, Mike.
Yeah, well, the last time they came was in 2014. That was a fun week for sure. Yeah, against the Jaguars. When
because Khan has business in the UK.
Oh yeah, Khan gets all overseas games. Right. Yeah. Plus he's on that side of the.
The only way the Cowboys will ever get to the UK is as the road team, which is exactly what happened in 2014. They we all know
they was the road team. I thought we was the home team.
No, we were the road team. Yeah,
okay.
We may as well have been the home team the way it all came out. There was way more Cowboys going on there that week, but because the Dallas Cowboys have cemented themselves, in Mexico, South America. They have
Jerry was down there working the networks way before there was Wi-Fi.
yeah. I mean, in the international market, so every team has a different area at the moment for the international market, and the Cowboys are Mexico, so they're going to just continue to play on the PR of that. And we've met some great Mexican fans who we've spoken to them in Dallas. They love the game. They love the Dallas Cowboys, and that pretty much everybody around there. You talk even Brazil, and they're playing in Brazil. They're just keeping a massive foothold in South America. We do have submissions over here, but I very much doubt you'll ever see a UK Cowboy as the international fan. They want to keep that foothold, stronghold
so they want to keep it in the market.
Yeah, they want to keep it.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the Rams have y'all in the cut of how they cut up the whole NFL map. I think the Rams is responsible for the UK. But with that being said, I want to ask you, Mike, when can we expect the UK to be in Brazil or back in the USA or moving around with our team, the world's team?
So we're going to be back out. We're not coming out this year. We done the big tour last year where there's a whole bunch of us that came out. I know you've seen it, Barry, because I know you shared it all. But we'll be back out in 2027 in November, and we're building up now.
Y'all should try to come to the draft in DC.
I'll be there. I'm coming to DC.
We wanted to do that.
So November 27, y'all are planning to come to Dallas?
In November 2027, we're going to be back in, bringing a whole bunch of people again.
That's awesome.
Various tours.
Just make sure we stay in contact, because I definitely want to hook up with the UK out there in Jerry's world.
Yeah, come on down. Yeah, I mean, we get to meet up with everybody, all the other content creators. We'll do various shows, podcasts while we're out there. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of love in the Cowboys community.
Yeah, because Atlanta 2017. Lord, y'all was deep. 250 of y'all. I was like,
Atlanta showed. I mean, yeah, UK showed up deep. Well, shout out to everybody out there in the UK, the UK Cowboys fan club. We appreciate all of your efforts. Thank you for sharing all of the content, from Blogging the Boys in the UK, the World's Podcast, World's Team Podcast, and the OAT. We appreciate that. How can folks follow you, and where would you point folks if they'd like to get in contact with you and get in contact with your content, with the exception of Instagram?
Yeah, we're on Twitter. I'm Paul. You can find me on Twitter at Kenfig Cowboy, Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K, or at the World's Team.
At the World's Team. All right. Got it. We appreciate you coming in, Kills. This is our 4th episode. We got week 5 coming up next, and your girl's going to be on here, Cowboys. Nikki, we're going to be talking about defensive line.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. This is shout out to Marcus Dixon.
Yeah, we got some things to talk about as we go into next week, but this is wrapping up our show here today.
But we'll be back on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. We appreciate everybody tapping in as we talked about.
Saturday, the big 3.
Oh, yeah, Saturday. Yeah, forgot Saturday. Yeah, we got the recap. You're more than welcome to come over and join us, too. If that's the case, I'll send you the link again, and you're welcome to join us. Mike, we're going to do a 72-hour recap of NFL free agency because we're going to see how aggressive is Jerry really going to be, because I want to know if that Kool-Aid tastes as good as Jerry has been selling. But we'll see y'all back here next week on episode 5 when we talk about D-line. This has been Corners, Safety. We'll talk y'all next week.
Peace. Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.